It's Wednesday. I always have to wait for the coffee to kick in. It's Wednesday morning, and I'm trying to keep up a daily devlog for my little indie game and posting them every day, hoping that getting into the habit of editing like every single day, like I used to when I did my 100 days of making comics way back when, 10 years ago, you just get faster. Like you just get more efficient at editing, and you just save a lot of time that way. And when I record these little videos during the week and I save them up and then I do them on the weekend, like that last 40-minute video, I mean, it just took a long time. And the more time I spend editing video, the less time, of course, I get to play Crimson Desert. This game. I was going to hold off because I was really eager to get Starfield when it comes out on the PlayStation 5, but I just couldn't resist. This game looks so good, and it is that good looking. And it's really kind of fun to jump in on a day one. Usually I avoid it at all costs, not just for the price cut savings, but for the patch. Like just wait for the patches. Like you don't want to be the beta tester for a game. But with this game, it's funny how they are so hands-on, coming out with massive patches based on what people are saying about the game. It's like you can watch the game improve in real time almost. We just went on a little trip to Macau, and we come back and all of a sudden the running is fixed. That is much easier. Like it's just like there's still a bunch of controls where I think things are convoluted. They do this thing where you have to hold down the left shoulder button in order to talk to someone. Like if the only thing I'm doing near this person is to talk to him, why do I have to press two buttons? But it's not the end of the world. So where were we? Yesterday I was off to a bad start. My game just did not cooperate at all when I jumped in, even though I had fixed it over the weekend. Like all of a sudden everything I did, it just didn't quite feel that good anymore, and things were just freezing up and animations were like all over the place. So we simply take it one step at a time, and this is what we managed to do yesterday. We managed to tweak some of the settings of the hills where you can hop up and hop off when you're near, because the game doesn't have a jump button. It simply allows you to have a jump button when you're near something where you can jump. Speaking of convoluted, once that was working again, the next thing was I was just getting very frustrated with, like, I had a version 1 dive into the water, which was very basic, because I didn't want to spend all that time animating. I just drew one frame of animation for all directions. Plopped it in, started setting it up where when you're near the river's edge, you can dive. So he will jump to a set location, which are the two dots where the player is aiming at. So not like with the hop on, hop off, you actually jump at a predisposed location, like at a target. In this one, the target is actually with the player, wherever the player is looking, as long as it's in the general direction of the water. That's fine. There's these freezes that happen where like you dive and then you just hover in the air and then you're in the water, but then the water stopped working, so you're not swimming, you're walking. There's this lag between, and yesterday I figured out that it is the timing, because in my mind, like if you move from point A to point B, if I say make the timeline 2 seconds, it should take 2 seconds to go from here to there. And if you put it over here, then it should take 2 seconds to get from here to there, right? But that doesn't seem to be the case. What happens is, yeah, there's the further away and the shorter amount of time, the player moves faster, but for the most part, he clearly seems to get at the location and then wait for the timeline to run out, because there's still time left. So he doesn't get here at, say, 2 seconds. So I made it 0.7 seconds, and there's like a frame delay. Feels much better. And that's what this is about in my notes. I got the timing down, which is awesome. Let's fire it up straight away just so I can show you. What I then did was, in order to get to a next level dive, is I added a scene node, and attached to the scene node is a sprite, and that sprite will be like a splash of water. So I don't have a splash of water animation. I just used one that came with the Cobra Code course, just a single frame, and I make it light up just for like 0.5 seconds, I think. And it works, but with a caveat. See, when the player is walking around, that node attached to the player, which is not in the center of the player but at his feet, also moves around. And so what I noticed was that that splash to simulate water splashing was rotating and like twirling all around the player. And so I had to get back into my head of like, I need to use world rotation and world location, and then it stays put at his feet. So let's jump right in. Let's make sure that controller is not ready to go. Using the Xbox controller, for some reason, switching between the Mac and the Xbox, it just stopped working wirelessly on both. It's very strange, but wired, it always works. So here's the player. See, those two dots are normally invisible, but I use them just for my purpose of testing. So what I want is I want the game to feel physical, so there's a boundary here, a collision, right? So you can actually walk in and not just walk off into the water. I would like to be able to just walk off into the water at certain spots, but for the most part I don't want that accident to happen. When you are at this border, you can jump, but what happened was you can already jump here, and then you would get stuck on that border, on the collision, and you need to jump over. So that's another tweak I need to do today. So as you can see, you can walk out of the water. Oh, and was there a hint of swimming? Yes, there was. There was a hint of swimming. You see that? It's like, I can see the swimming animation frame just pop up for a second. Other things I've thought about is, forever with version 1, what was obvious was that, like, you have the player, you have the target, goes straight to the target, right? So it goes dive straight to the target. What you of course want is like so I thought I can move the y-axis of the sprite. The character, the center of the character will just still do this, but the sprite that is attached to it, which is a frame of animation on top, that one will go like this. I think that's a good solution. That could work. But I also thought, because my frames of animation have a lot of extra space around it on purpose, I could just animate them, and I think that would actually just be easier, less headache. So the dive animation, we're getting to the point where the dive animation has to be actually created, and it will allow for like a nice jump. Then when you hit the water, which again, where the splash is, right? So your head you should go head first. You should move into the water, and that's going to be a little tricky. So I guess like if this is the head, like you have water just go like this, so it looks like you're going into the water. So I could just put a blue thing in front of it, but then at certain areas, like let's say, well, you would never be diving towards this, I suppose, so it's fine. I guess that would never be a problem. Body has to go into the water, so make it look like it's disappearing. Then it has to go into a swimming, and I'd like it to be a swimming underwater, so just like a blue shape of the body, like with the ripples of water. Like very simple animation. And then you go up, so the head is just sticking out of the water, right? Then to fix this section, so normally you'd be swimming here in my previous version, but I moved all those water boxes away, and then when you hit the edge of the water, you would simply pop out, and then here you are. Just like on the other side of the river, you have a border, and then you can jump in, but I moved allow for jumping, diving command here, so that's gone. But there's an issue there that I need to fix in this next version. So there needs to be a in-between, where it's like clearly you are moving out of water in the direction of the land, and you're soaking wet. That's what I want. And then you are on land, so there needs to be a way to register that as well, unless it's simply a timer where if you go through this box, you are now exiting the water, you are soaking wet, and that lasts this amount of seconds, and then you move into walking. And it has to be a number of seconds that is short enough for the player not to be able to turn around and immediately jump back in, unless there's a double check for that as well. And that's the thing I've been learning a lot. Making these improved versions. Why am I making improved versions? Because I was making so many double checks on what I was doing because it was not working. Because a lot of this, fairly simple 2D game, right? There's a lot of things that are just very close together and that causes things not to work.